Christmas in 1930. Thanksgiving, I asked my 9-year-old grandson what he wanted for Christmas. He was starting out the door to play with his $175 remote-controlled, battery-operated race car, which he had only recently finished paying for with money he had earned doing chores around the house. "I don't know," he said, but immediately began to think of some other very expensive electronic toy he could ask for so he wouldn't have to pay for it himself. After he departed, I thought about my earliest recollections of Santa Claus. The Night Before Christmas was in an old school book of my oldest brother's. Mother had read it to me so often I could read it myself. I must have been 5 years old when I memorized the poem. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, etc. were all very real to me. It would be another 25 years before anyone found out about Rudolph. I never bothered to write Santa Claus a letter. Mother said nobody ever saw Santa Claus. She said he would hear me if I whispered up the chimney what I wanted him to bring me. Since I had never heard of a telephone, much less a radio or a television, that sounded as plausible as the "now I lay me down to sleep" that I said to Jesus every night. Mother reminded me that Santa had lots of other little boys and girls to take care of. So I was not to be a pig and ask for more than one thing. In 1930, the beginning of the Great Depression, I suppose he really was strapped for funds. I crept to the chimney in awe that Santa Claus could hear me, suddenly shy as I whispered that I wanted a blackboard or a doll bed. I had pored over the Sears Roebuck catalog, but couldn't decide which I wanted. I would let Santa surprise me. Christmas Eve finally came to the 3-room tenant farmer's house in Smith Mills, Kentucky. We swept the floor and tidied the room for Santa's expected visit. I pinned my clean stockings, my other pair, together and hung them over the back of a straight chair. Our fireplace was a working fireplace that was our only source of heat. One did not dare hang a stocking he expected to get filled on the mantelpiece. We called it a fireboard. I remember trying desperately to go to sleep in the room still lit by the flickering fire. The feather bed was soft over the firm straw tick we used for a mattress. I lay there between my parents and closed my eyes tightly. I didn't think to wonder why my daddy didn't bank the fire as he usually did. When he banked a fire, he covered it with ashes so that the live coals could be there in the morning and the fire could be kindled from them. Mother had washed my doll's dress and cleaned her up and set her in the chair to let Santa know, she said, that I did not need a new doll. The next morning when I woke up, the fire was burning brightly. My stockings were knobby with oranges, apples, nuts, and candy. I'm sure there was a stick of candy, as well as chocolate drops. Though I can't remember that particular Christmas, there was usually a real coconut, which I did not care for, but for which my mother had a particular fondness. There beside the chair where the doll, Betty Lou, was sitting, was a blackboard and a doll bed. Mother explained that Santa Claus must have misunderstood me. He must have heard the "or" and thought I said "and." It did not dawn on me to wonder why Santa did not come to my brothers, who were 11 and 13 years older than I. Nor did I know that in more affluent homes, family members exchanged gifts at Christmas. We all ate the fruit, nuts, and candy. I was happy that Santa had misunderstood me and brought me the blackboard and the doll bed, which is the only childhood toy I still have in my possession, cherished for almost 60 years. That 1930 Christmas, I could not have been happier. I had never been cold or hungry, unclothed or unwashed or unloved. I was in the bosom of a loving, sober, hard-working family, and Santa Claus had provided my dearest wish. Because the love and care was all-encompassing and free as the air I breathed, I did not realize how blessed I was. I thought I was happy because Santa had brought me the blackboard and the doll bed.